right, I'm going to make a model of the swivel stop. And this is what it looks like. And I'm going to use Inventor to create this model. And I'm going to begin the model by drawing a rectangle that's 6 inches by 5 inches. And then I'm going to cut out this slot over here on the right hand side and then extrude the entire thing and then add some more features to it. So I'm using the dimensions on this sketch that you see here. So I'm going to drag that out of the way. And so I'm going to start by beginning a new Inventor part. And I always like to start by projecting some geometry onto my origin point here. And so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to Project Geometry, and I'm going to expand on the origin here, and I'm going to choose my YZ plane and my XZ plane, and you can see those are projected onto where those planes would intersect with my XY plane. So you can see those yellow lines, and once I have those lines in there, I can actually go in and dimension to them and use them to orient geometry. Let's see if I can do something here. No, I don't think I can do it while I'm in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the rectangle command. I'm going to snap right there at that intersection and move in this direction right here and type 6 tab 5 and enter, and then scroll out. And so there is the basic shape for the swivel stop. And I'm going to draw a line in here. I want to make that a vertical line, so I'm going to let it snap and go vertical like that and just pick like that. I'm not going to worry about its length or anything at this point, but I'm going to put a dimension on it from this edge to here. I want that to be 1.5 and press enter. All right. Now I want to have a line from somewhere along here to the end point of that guy, like that right there. And I need to put a couple of dimensions on there. So I want a dimension right here. Let's see. Actually, I got to be careful. When I put that dimension, I want to go from this corner to this corner here. And I want to make that 0.75 and press enter. All right. And I'm going to, let's see, I want to put a dimension for an angle on that. So I'm going to pick on this line and pick on this. And I want to bring this in here and type 75 degrees. Okay, so that I think is the top that I need. And so I'm going to draw another line over here and go to this endpoint there. And I could match all this stuff and make it equal, but I'm just going to go ahead and pick on this and type 0.75. And when I say make equal, you have this equal sign here. And so let me see if you do an equal. If I pick this and I pick that, see, did you see how it changed? So this should be the same angle. So if I try to put an angle on here now, it should tell me that it's 75, and I don't need to actually place that dimension now on there. I do need to trim this line right here, so let's see what happens when I go in and try to trim this. There, that guy goes out. So I believe that I have the basic shape that I want, so I'm going to finish my sketch. And the depth of this part when I extrude it is 2, so I pick on extrude, and I can drag this out if I want and go right up here and type 2 on that and pick OK. All right, now I'm going to go to my view cube, and I'm going to pick on the upper left corner right there of the cube and spin it around so I can see on this side, because I have 2 filleted corners, this corner and this corner, and the radius of the fillet is 1. So I'm going to pick on the fillet command. That's going to open this guy up, and I'm going to go right in here and set that to 1 for my radius. And then it's saying select object or select edges. That's going to be an edge, and this is going to be an edge. And then I'm going to pick OK. Now the reason I wanted to put those in is because there's actually the center of these 2 counterbore holes is concentric with the center of that fillet right there. So by having that, I should be able to snap to that geometry. So the next thing I'm going to do is place a counterbore hole in here. I'm going to pick on my hole command, and I'm just going to pick somewhere on this plane right here. And then I'm going to come up here and pick on that arc. And when I do that, it centers on the center of that arc. And as I said, those are concentric. All right, so I want a counterbore hole. It's just a simple hole, which means it's not threaded or anything. It's through all. And the size of that right here, that would be in my counterbore. It says that that's 0.88. It says the depth is 0.25, so I would type in 0.25 right here. And it says the diameter of the hole would be 0.5, so I would type in 0.5 right there. And because I had modeled this earlier today, it was defaulting to those settings, and I can pick OK. And there's the first hole. Now there's a couple of ways you could go around about doing this. I can make another hole right down here using the hole tool. Another thing I could do is use my mirror command, and so I'm going to use mirror. And I'm going, before I do that, I have to put a work plane in, don't I? So the first thing I would do is go to plane, and I want to place a plane mid-plane between two planes. This would be the first plane. The bottom plane would be down here on the bottom. And so if I go to the view cube and pick on the very bottom corner like that, I can pick right there. And so now I've picked the top and the bottom plane, so it puts this one plane in mid-plane. So I'm going to go back to my home view now, and we can see what's going on here. Now I can do mirror. So when mirror opens up, it says features, and that's blue. So right now it's looking for features. So I can pick on this hole directly on the part, or I can go pick hole over here in the browser. Okay, either place, doesn't matter. And then go to mirror plane and pick on this box right here, that icon right there. And now I want to go pick the plane, which would be there. And you can see it's showing me where that's going to go, and that looks good. So I'm going to pick OK. So now I have these two holes. Now remember that this hole is dependent on this hole over here. So if anything happens to this hole, it's going to affect this hole. And this hole here, because it's mirrored, it is also dependent on that work plane. So if I delete the work plane, I would lose this feature because it's dependent on that work plane. Now that doesn't mean I can't go onto the work plane and right click and turn off its visibility if I want. I may have to press escape to do that first. Right click and turn off, where's visibility on this guy? Maybe I'm not on the work plane. There it is, visibility. I can turn it off. I'm going to do an undo and bring it back, because the other thing you can do is go to work plane over here on the browser on the left hand side and pick and uncheck visibility too if you don't want to be able to, or if you don't want to have to look at that. Now I'm going to pick on this surface right here and create a sketch right there. Okay, so I have two things. I have a slot that goes all the way across this, and that slot is 0.25 wide and 0.25 deep, and it's 2.25 from this side over here. So one way you could draw that is to just draw a rectangle, and you could start right here, and you could say 0.25 tab, and then you could just exaggerate the length. So I'm just going to say 6 for the length of that and press enter. So I just drew a rectangle that is 0.25 wide and 6 wide. And the important thing is that it's tall enough to go all the way across my part. And the part is 5 wide, so it clears pretty easily, and it's it's 0.25 inches wide. Then I could use a dimension and go from the left edge to the left edge here and come right up here and pick and type 2.25 and enter. And I'll go to my home view so we can see what's happening here. And finish the sketch at that point, or just type E. That'll put you right into extrude. And what we want to do is a cut. So that's going to go in that direction right there. And but the depth of the cut, we only want to be 0.25. So it's not going to go that deep in. and pick OK. So there's the groove cut across there. And we're going to pick on this again and create a new sketch here because we have that circular cut out. And so if I expand this guy, so there's our groove, there are the holes, but we need to cut this out. And what it tells us that it has a radius of 4. So if we could even draw a circle with a diameter of 8, and that would give us the right size, but the location of the center is what we want to know. And the center is 1.5 inches from the left side right here out, or from this side out in this direction, and it's 2.5 from the bottom edge up. That's where the center would be located at. So I'm going to use those dimensions, and I'm going to draw a circle. Now, one of the things Inventor, if you move around, it can find midpoints and stuff like that, and then you can just follow straight out. So like if I come out to right here and I just say make that 8 because the radius was 4, so the diameter would be 8. I'm going to type 8 and press enter. All right. Now I still don't have it located exactly where I want, so I would go from this edge to the center, and I want that to be 1.5. Press enter. Okay, that moved that out. And I can do a dimension from this side to the center here, and that ought to be 2.5. And that's what it should be because I actually acquired the midpoint and brought it out, but I'm going to do that. So now I have that completely defined. It's located 2.5, 1.5, has a diameter of 8, and I should be able to finish my sketch. And we're going to do another extrude cut. We're going to go in that direction right there. And the depth of this cut is 0.5. And the way I know that, there's a dimension for the full width of the part that says that it's 2, and that's how far we extruded that. And then on the sketch, it shows that from the back edge, this actually comes in 1.5. So if I subtract 1.5 from 2, I know that my depth of this is going to be 0.5. So I'm just going to type 0.5. And there we go, and pick OK. And at that point, I am finished with modeling the swivel stop, and all I need to do is come up here and do a file save as and name it as swivel stop right down here. I already have a couple of swivel stops up here, so I'm not really going to even save this, but you should save yours and just make sure it goes into the folder that you want it to go into. So I'm saving mine in my Google Drive, inside my drive, and then I have a folder named DFTG 1433 DWS drive, and within that I have a fall 2021 drive, and inside that I have a daily work fall 1433 drive, and that's where I'm saving things. And part of that's named on the year that I'm making this video and stuff like that. So anyway, I would pick save and give it a name right here of swivel stop, but I'm not going to save this, but I am going to end the video. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you, and that was why I modeled this where I modeled it. Because if you remember, I said we're going to model this to the left and below the origin right here. And the reason for that is I'm going to go up here to my planes. I'm going to right click and turn on the visibility of that plane, and right click and turn on the visibility of this plane, and then right click and turn on the visibility of my XY plane. All right, and so you can see that I have this plane in the background, I have this plane on the left hand side, and then I have this plane on the top, and those actually represent this plane in the back, which is A, this reference over here on the side, which is going to be B, and this datum identifier up here, which is C. So I have 3 datum identifiers that I'll add later for my geometric dimensioning and tolerancing on this part. And so this this plane that's labeled as A will sit on the XY plane, and then this side of the part that's labeled B will butt up against my YZ plane. and then the part that's labeled as C up here on the top, that will butt up against the XZ plane. So really what I'm doing here is I'm representing my datum planes in Inventor as a part of my model. All right, so that was something I wanted to point out to you guys. Now, one thing I wanted to do, I was going to do this a minute ago, is I actually would like to change the color here of my object. So I'm going to go to Tools, Application Options, Colors, and I'm going to choose High Contrast, which gives us a black background, and pick Apply and then Close. And I just like that view a little bit more than the white background. Okay, now I'm going to stop the video.